Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to some more Season 12 CGL playoff action. We've got a pretty big matchup here tonight in our NAGM tier. This is the losers finals. A winner goes home. Or no, disregard. That's wrong. Loser goes home. Winner goes to the grand finals here in the GM tier. So we're nearing the end of our bracket here for our GM tier. Tonight, I am joined by the incredible Hunter Tane. How are you feeling tonight, Hunter?
You know what? It's already been a super fantastic weekend with the World Cup and everything in the finals that are likely going to be concluding with this next map. But we're going to have some more action for you here today. So, you might be watching both right now, but we'll definitely have a pretty good match to tune into here in a moment. Because, looking at both of these teams, like both of them end up having a pretty good season overall. Lijiang ended up having that loss to Danger Close 2 3-0. Unfortunately, that's what ended up knocking them down here. So we kind of have to question how the momentum is going to work here versus a team that just got knocked down from the winners finals to a team that just won their own 3-0 and fought their way into the losers finals.
Yeah, this is another rematch here as we look at Lijiang Legion's lineup here. It'll be Random Rager, Potato Lord on the DPS, Shadow Thief on the tank, Jabberwocky, and Fives on the support. A lot of two-word names here for Lijiang Legion, I guess. I don't know. That just it's interesting to me, I guess. But a very, very talented team. They've earned their way to be here. The Lijiang Legion, like you said, lost 3-0 in the winners finals. Got knocked down here to face the DV Cat Commanders. If we could get a look at their team, it'll be Frank Unji on the DPS, Slaying Beast on the tank, and Ghost and Amity on the support. So this should be a pretty good match here as the fight for the GM tier continues.
Yeah, it definitely should be. So we're going to quickly look at that bracket as we kind of already explained a little bit. Danger Close 2 already confirmed to be playing in those grand finals. Lijiang Legion went up against them, unfortunately fall to that 3-0. But Cat Commanders did fight their way to get into the spot as well. So, I think the real thing you really want to point out here is the fact that Cat Commanders took Lijiang Legion to that map 5. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, that's very fortunate because, when we see that map 5 and we see that rematch so quickly, that creates so much anticipation that we could end up seeing that map 5 happen again.
Yeah, I mean, I got to I got to cast a rematch last night. It wasn't a playoff rematch, but it was a rematch of Week 8, and the team that lost the Week 8 match knocked the team they beat out of the playoffs entirely.
Wow.
So the rematch went very, very well for them. So I guess we'll see what can Cat Commanders do here as Lijiang Legion coming out on the Wrecking Ball. A very interesting comp here with the the sort of EU, Middle East kind of weird dive comp with the Farah, the Mercy, the Lucio. They're hard to kill. I'll give them that much. And then Cat Commanders, they're coming out on something a little more traditional with Frank on the Sojourn. And Potato Lord starts it out early with a pick onto Amity, throwing the Baptiste off the map early. And that is going to be a pretty hard place for Frank to get out of. As Shadow Thief is going to find that pick. And I mean, Lijiang Legion have already blown this fight wide open.
Yeah, it's just that boop immediately out the gate that creates such a big deficit for Cat Commanders. So first cap going through for Lijiang Legion right now, holding a good place, and it's going to be really hard to track all of these heroes down, especially Random Rager that can kind of just go around wherever they want to go. Because right now, the sitting duck on this team is Amity. It's going to be very tough for them to be able to survive if they end up having the Pharmacy and the Tracer go on them at the same time.
And Slaying Beast now coming over to the not the Widowmaker, but the Diva. A great direct shot from Potato Lord to hit Yunji in midair. But now trying to put their focus on the White Room is Lijiang Legion, as Cat Commanders are trying to hit the rotation. With Yunji and Ghost behind them. Ooh, some great focus fire, but it's going to be even better peel for the side of Cat Commanders, able to take down Random Rager. And they're going to send Frank flying off the map. A great roll through by Shadow Thief is going to put Cat Commanders at an even fight. And with the D-Mech onto Slaying Beast, it's not looking very good here for Lijiang Legion, as Random Rager and Potato Lord and Shadow Thief, they're all going to work right now. This is simply 9 to 5 for them. It's Potato Lord. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's definitely going to hurt, because now you're going to have to wait for UG to get back into this fight. And that's basically going to facilitate us going into this final fight territory. And right now, Cat Commanders really only have, right now, Amity ready with the window. But Lijiang Legion are going to have 4, potentially 5 different ultimates going into this last fight. It's going to be so incredibly difficult, as they're not going to try to wait for Cat Commanders to make it to the point first. Trying to engage and just barely not losing Shadow Thief.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Thief getting out by the hair of the hamster's chin. They're able to take down Jabberwocky and Potato Lord, though. That's not going to be very good for Lijiang Legion. Cat Commanders are going to take the fight here, and what? They're able to take down Frank, but is that going to be, is that worth it? Random Rager goes off the map. I don't know what's happening. The sound barrier's been infested for some reason. They have a couple of more ultimates. The self-destruct's going to come up from Slaying Beast, and it's going to take down Jabberwocky. So, I mean, in the most insane fight I think I've seen in recent memory, Cat Commanders holds on to the point.
Yeah, and they managed to hold on to a lot of their ultimates as well. Like, through that, they only end up using the bomb out of everything. So, like, your Far Mercy both have their own combos. You still hold on to that window throughout all of that. Meanwhile, Five's not going to have that beat anymore for a potential dive setup. And as you can see, Shadow, they're going to go around. Likely going to try to set up the needs across the point. Going to send him across, hoping to find one of these supports.
And Frank is surrounded, but will get turned to a fine paste by Shadow Thief, rolled straight through that Sojourn. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a fine paste. Sojourn's mostly robot, right? But Lijiang Legion's gonna get the flip here as Shadow Thief continues to take people out. A great Pulse Bomb stick is going to take Slaying Beast out of the mech as the Overclock comes out to try and clutch up. Shadow Thief once again puts the Sojourn down, as the fireworks display for Potato Lord is going to put Lijiang Legion ahead on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and it ends up being a pretty good display of them. Like, clearly they show that they're very comfortable running that pharmacy style. We saw Potato Lord hitting shots basically from across the map. We saw that, like, late stagger kill there on the fight before this, and it's just really incredible to see a team be able to pull this off. But as we go over to Night Market, it's technically a comp that you still could run. I don't think it's as effective as it is over on a map like Gardens, but you definitely could still run it. But Cat Commanders looking to try something else instead.
Safety first.
Yeah.
Down enemies.
It will take a pretty big adaptation here, and like you said, it will be a pretty damn big adaptation. They're coming out on the Orisa this time. No Diva in sight here for the DV Cat Commanders. They're going to TP out of spawn. Well, no, they're going to TP up into the window, actually, is going to be the play here as Cat Commanders. They get to the point first, but, I mean, Potato Lord once again blowing Amity out of the water here. They're going to be able to trade it out onto 5s, though, as it's a 2-for-2 trade here. We see Ghost trying to get aggressive on it to Jabberwocky here. The Mercy zipping around like a little gnat that they are. They're able to stay alive for the time being. Random Rager has to use the recall, and they're gonna be taking it down as Yuji is going to be able to fry Jabberwocky, and that will probably be it for this fight as Shadow Thief just gonna get away with their life.
Yep, good that they're able to do so. We saw Jabberwock survive for a pretty long time, to be honest. You saw, like, Ghost and Amity really trying to track them down. That survivability is going to work out really well, but so far they're doing a really good job being able to shut down this pharmacy outside of that very first pick we saw at the beginning. A little unfortunate over on the side of Cat Commanders, but they do manage to pull back from it, and now, as long as you can keep this off angle away from Potato Lord for free use, you should be able to hold on to this point pretty effectively, but they're kind of being corralled into a corner as we speak.
It seems like they're doing the opposite of what you said. I mean, Potato Lord is just free firing into that little point there. Pulse Bombs comes out. The Immortality Field is going to be good for keeping Frank alive for the time being, but not forever, as they're going to use the sound barrier to keep this fight going as they're able to take down 5s here. So, I mean, it's a great fight here for Cat Commanders as they're able to take down Random Rager as soon as the recall is used, and they're just going to hold on to the point here.
Yeah, and right now Shadow Thief actually manages to get Ghost off the point, so fight's not quite over yet, but Potato Lord might have to invest in this fight just to do so, and you can't do that when you're dead.
Yeah, I think Potato Lord wanted to get the barrage off, but Jabberwock did not follow, and okay. Goodbye, Shadow Thief. Have a nice swim. I feel like Potato Lord wanted to get the barrage off, but with Jabberwocky not following, it was just not for not the time.
Yeah, definitely not the time. And now 85% likely going to have Shadow Thief touch over on the side. Potato Lord does have that barrage ready to go. And immediately the Widow's going to come out just to prevent that. But 5s manages to die anyway. So what do you do right now?
You rely on Shadow Thief to stay alive, touch the point, and Potato Lord gets in and takes down Frank, but nothing else as okay. Nah, yeah, just leave him there. That works too, as Slaying Beast has come alive here, and the Ajax to, you know, just an exclamation point for Cat Commanders here on at Night Market. A great round for Cat Commanders.
Yeah, we saw the adaptation going over to this Orisa sim comp instead, which is usually very preferable on a map like this, and especially on a map that we're going to be coming up to next, which is going to be Control Center, where usually Brawl is king on this kind of map, so I don't imagine Cat Commanders are going to change a whole lot up, but Lijiang Legion are going to have to. Like, I don't think you can run that pharmacy comp again, as they're going over to a much more traditional and much more seen comp within the Bastion sim and the I said Bastion twice! The Sigma sim and the Bastion, so opting for the Bastion and sim over the Mei instead, which, I don't know, Mei's still a pretty strong character, but you might get a little more damage output running the Bastion instead.
The TP is just going to be to get out of spawn, but Potato Lord gonna stick with it. So they're gonna be in here. I was worried that, well, Random Rager I'm not worried about, I guess. Disregard anything that I've said. Random Rager able to take down Amity early. A great pick for Lijiang Legion here. Rank is so low. Everybody on the side of Cat Commanders is, and they just have to get out, but Frank's not going down without a fight here. They're able to take down Fives, but even so, Lijiang Legion's going to take the first flip.
Yeah, and because Fives is on the loose still, they're going to be able to get back pretty quickly, so Cat Commander's likely not going to be able to take advantage of that late pick. What they can take advantage of is the fact that they do have the ability to have the CPs positioned in some unique places, and right now, Eugene already 60% to their own ultimate as they're trying to take the 1v1 here on the side. It's a 10, so they're trying to win it so close.
You know, sometimes the hands work, but sometimes they don't, and we see right there, Yuji tried to throw the hands at Potato Lord. Didn't work out this time. Ghost goes down finally, and Lijiang Legion retains their grip on the point.
Yeah, you have to at least kind of respect the fact that Yuji went in for that. They nearly got it too, but it's just an unfortunate situation as they're going to head over to that Sojourn instead. They're likely going to be trying to play off our picks over on the side, whether that's that top right area or heading into the white room on their left instead. But Lijiang Legion got a lot of balls to work with, and they're going to use that window just to kind of force Cat Commanders to either take a different route or hold off on their push for the time being.
And Potato Lord is just able to throw that alt fire through. And oh my goodness, like one ultimate is all Lijiang Legion needs right now. But Cat Commanders, they have almost 4 coming up here soon. So, you know, it'll be 4 versus 4.
Yeah, at the end of the day. And remember that, like, Lijiang Legion is coming up close to that combination we see between the Bastion and that Sigma. But it's a question of whether Random Ranger can get it online. But with already being at 93%, there's a good chance they should be able to get it, as we're to see it come from Frank instead, hoping to find Jabberwocky out of position here.
Not able to take down Jabberwocky just yet, but here is the Amp Matrix. Countered out immediately by the wall from Potato Lord, and the combo that you said was there, they're able to take down Frank through all of that damage. Slaying Beast, 100 HP, and a Dream. Here we go. Ghost wants to keep this fight going, has to keep this fight going. Here's the Terra Surge. What can they find? They find Potato Lord Yuji coming alive late in this fight, but Fives is able to take down Amity. So this fight isn't done for Lijiang Legion. They don't want to give it up. Yuji is not able to take down Fives just yet. There we go. Finally, the Sojourn finds the pick there, and Jabberwocky gets sent careening off the map, and DV Cat Commanders stay alive on Lijiang Tower.
Oh! Yeah, and it's a big win, especially that little like pick there on the Random Rager. Kind of have to look at the ultimate economy now, as Cat Commanders had to pretty much dump the entire bank just to win that fight. And while Lijiang Legion did do the same, they're at 80% to that next window right now. So they're definitely going to have that big advantage coming into this next fight. And it really shouldn't take long for Jabberwocky to get the extra 50% needed to bring that out and force Commanders into an uncomfortable position.
Yeah. Shadow Thief pinned against the wall there by the spear. Not gonna, you know, you're just gonna shrug it off a little bit for right now. Not too worried about it, but Potato Lord is very, very low. Can they follow up on the Symmetra? No, they can't. So some great peel from the DV Cat Commanders, and Ghost has the sound barrier coming up here. So Random Rager just trying to chill out behind the Amp Matrix as the Flux is gonna whiff. A great job avoiding the Gravitic Flux, and Potato Lord goes down here. So it's not looking very, very good here for... Okay, yeah. Amity is able to eat up that Pulse Bomb, and, you know, you'll take that as the fight was looking really, really good for Cat Commanders. But it's a 2-for-2 trade here. It's up to Fives to keep this point going. Fives is able to stay alive, though, for the time being. Ghost is gonna, you know, keep this point alive, and Frank and Yuji get back and stay on the point, and, you know, this is last fight territory for both teams.
Yeah, or to see Random Rager head over to that Tracer instead, just to be able to help with this touch. The one thing that they do have on their side is they do have the wall ready to use on the side of Potato Lord, but with Yuji and Slaying Beast having their ults, Frank getting close to their Pulse Bomb, they're going to have a really big advantage going into this final fight territory.
And they're able to take down Fives. A great early pick, and the Pulse Bomb barely avoided by Potato Lord. Random Rager has no HP, finally gets a little bit of healing, and Shadow Thief is just getting thrown into a locker. It goes down as well. Amity coming alive here. Amity and Frank and Yuji and DV Cat Commanders. They won't go down without a fight. They take Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and it looked for so long that kind of Lijiang knew exactly how they wanted to do this. They were up 99-0, and they lose that fight, but the ult economy reset, so they had a chance to come back into it. But like you said, Cat Commanders did not go down without a fight. They just stayed scrappy. They stayed on the point. Use ultimates sometimes where you thought ultimates, shouldn't be used, and Lijiang tried the same a couple of times as well. We saw that when they ended up using the Mortar Strike along with the beat to be able to stay alive, but it ends up being a scenario where you wish you would have had that for the last fight, that you wish you would have held on to it instead, because you gotta wonder how different that final fights look if you have those two ultimates online.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was DV Cat Commanders. They were just a clutch team. They had the ice in their veins to stay alive in the face of basically every ultimate that Lijiang threw at them. Like, late in that point, we saw the Amp Matrix come out, and they set a Bastion behind it. And Cat Commanders were just like, that's scary. I don't want to mess with that. I'm going to leave. I'm going to hide behind the pillar. And completely negated not only the window, but the Bastion wheels form. So, like, that's one of the most powerful tools in Bastion's kit. And they're just playing around all of these cooldowns perfectly.
Yeah, exactly, and like you have to give a lot of credit, because like while we did give a lot of credit to Potato Lord for that very first round over running the Pharah, like Yuji, oh my goodness, on the Sojourn, especially on that third round, I think definitively the person that won DV Cat Commanders a couple of their fights, sometimes not even having the overclock in general, but just nailing multiple shots within the fight. Like, a lot of credit goes to them, and obviously that doesn't take anything away from everyone else on this team right now. Emily did a really good job surviving as well, but I'm curious what kind of comp they want to run next, or likely keep the same thing as we do have the map pick coming through from Lijiang, as we're going to be going over to King's Row for our next map. So a map that does favor a lot of these brawl style comps, brawl heavy, so we will likely still see something like the Orisa or the Sigma here. As much as I would love to see the Reinhardt personally, it's likely not in the cards here.
Yeah, I mean, Reinhardt just isn't that great right now, unfortunately.
I know.
It's a sad day for sure, but yeah, I do expect the Sigma. I feel like the Sigma or the Orisa. I do think still that Sigma is the best tank right now. Despite, the nerfs to the characters that play around the Sigma, I just don't think they were enough to knock him off of the top of the podium. So I feel like Sigma's still going to be the pick, but, Cat Commanders, they looked great on the Orisa. So I think coming into King's Row, that's probably what they're going to roll out on. They just didn't die, it felt like.
Yeah, because like Orisa still has a lot of survivability, and I feel like people kind of forgot about this a little bit, because when we got into the dominant part of this like Sigma Bastion Mei meta, like Orisa was a tank that can get countered by Sigma. Like, they still have a lot of survivability though, especially something like the Bastion or the Mei. It's just the unfortunate way that the meta worked for Orisa initially, but with the way things have changed lately, I think Orisa is creeping in more and more into just being a tank that is just, how to put this, it's just more comfortable. You have the ability to survive a little bit more than before, and while it's still not better than the Sigma in my opinion, it's still a really good tank to run otherwise.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a team swap in here for Lijiang Legion. It's going to be Random Rager leaving the lineup, and entering is going to be Sky. And I am generally curious. I know a player named Sky that is very, very good at the game. I don't know if it's the same guy. But maybe they do want to try and change something up here coming into King's Row. Maybe they do run the Reinhardt here. I think that would be kind of silly.
Oh, it would be absolutely silly, and I would love this entire map for that reason, but yeah, I'm really curious what they're gonna try to run. Like, obviously, we already talked about the fact that Sigma is, like, the Sigma comp is usually one that is heavily favored, even on a map like this, where there's a lot of tight corners to play, where this is the Brawl map. People call this Scrims Row all the time, because everyone likes to play that Brawl style here and play it in Scrims every single time. So I'm definitely curious to see what these teams are going to run, as, Lijiang not hiding anything back. We're going to see Sky coming into play that Mei, it looks like. So traditional style coming in from Lijiang Legion. Cat Commanders likely going to be rocking the same thing, but potentially opting for the double flex support lineup, running the Iliali instead of that Lucio.
Yeah, so they've got a little bit more damage out for Cat Commanders right now, but Lijiang Legion has the ability to slice up the sight lines, the area with the Mei wall, with the sim turrets. So they'll also have the speed to get around here with fives on the Lucio instead of what Ghost is playing, that Iari. So a little bit of a difference in opinions on how to play the Sigma here for both of these teams, and we'll see which one is going to come out on it top as we get into King's Row. The TP gonna come through onto the high ground. The rotation is already in full swing. They're trying to jump on. I couldn't even tell who that was, but Fives goes down. That's a great early pick. So Yuji drops into that wheels form and is not scared at all as Yuji kills 4 people, and Lijiang Legion got real cute, but Yuji wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to take the quick rotation to either like tail Amity or like best case, or even like worst case scenario, force them off at the high ground and force them into a weird position, but it's just unfortunate how that works out for them. It's a good idea, and it's good to have these aggressive style plays, but you might need to think about doing something a little bit more direct, because the more steps you take, the more chances are going to be given for it to be interrupted or messed up.
And wheels form for both Bastions now out here. Yuji's a little bit worse for wear at the moment. But Slang Beast is going to be able to take down Potato Lord. Lijiang Legion is going to take 25 at least, 53% now for Lijiang Legion. They have a win condition now, even if they lose this fight. The window is going to come out from Cat Commanders, but Amity goes down and Shadow Thief just refuses to go down, but Slaying Beast and Shadow Thief continue this bloody war here on the point. Frank cleans up the enemy Sigma, and for the time being, DV Cat Commanders are gonna hold on.
Yeah, Shadow Massive there with that 3K kind of near the end. The fault was that just the damage was already done against this team. They already lost multiple members, and it's nice you get these picks, but the problem is, oh no, Sky, no.
Yeah. I mean, they had the picks to come back in early, but they let Sky go down. Jabberwocky had the Immortality Field that thought that they could keep Sky alive, but Frank is coming alive here in this defense, able to take down 2.
Yeah, and now we're going to see a lot of the ultimates likely going to come out this next fight, as we're going to see Yuji actually be pretty aggressive, likely just going to try to force out the Immortality Field from Jabba.
Take down 2! Oh my god, Yuji! With 2 on the airstrike, and Lijiang Legion they're just left reeling. They don't know what's happening. Lijiang Legion they're like, what do we do?
There was nothing about the Immortality Field that came out, so these supports just try to survive without it, and now we're gonna see the same thing try to happen to Amity, but it's not going to be a successful this time around. They still have Immortality Field to use still as well.
I mean, just incredible plays from the DV Cat Commanders. The accretion, the flux is 5! The Windows comes out, but like, the overclock is gonna be good for Sky again! And Shadow Thief is able to take down Amity, but with 2 people dead already for the Lijiang Legion! DV Cat Commanders, they retain their iron grip on King's Row!
Frank just refuses to let go of this point. We saw the nice 2K on the ult from Yuji in the fight before, but Frank kind of came in, hit a lot of those ults, or not a lot of those picks, sliding through the ground. Like we're playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater right here, just doing some tricks in the process.
Lijiang Legion have one more opportunity. The point getting so close, 87% for Lijiang Legion, 15 seconds remaining. The point comes out. The Immortality Field going to keep the Sigma kicking and alive. And Frank once again opens it up on the Sky. And the Lijiang Legion, they just can't find the answer. Amity cleans it up with 2. And Lijiang Legion, they can't get A.
They came so close a couple of times as well. Like, a lot of these fights ended up getting, like, really, really scrappy, but as the fights grew, like, further and further on, or more so the round went further and further on, like, DV Cat Commanders were shutting down the fight before it even really began. We saw Eugene with the 2K beforehand, Frank, who came through with the overclock and nailed multiple people in the fight after that. And even now, Amity holding on to that amplification matrix until after the window was out, until the beat was already out. They timed it so well to where there was nothing left to defend them after the fact. So now, Lijiang are in a really tight situation. You do get ticks on the board, which means this is still a winnable scenario, but DV Cat Commanders are kind of in this rare position where they can kind of run whatever they want to, and I doubt Eugene actually will come out on the Pharah. I would find it very funny. I would love it a lot, but they're likely just going to stick back to what they were trying to do before, because Lijiang just has to lose one fight, and Cat Commanders will already be at match point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Cat Commanders did such a great job of being able to disengage whatever Lijiang was doing, right? I mean, they lost people, but they never fully gave up. They either were able to entirely disengage from the fight, give up the tick or so, but other times they would lose everybody and still just decide, we're not going to lose this fight here. So now all they need is one decisive fight win for the DV Cat Commanders, as Yuji is on the Pharah, gonna try and find some value from the sky. The Bastion's going to find some really great tracking on the Pharah. Not gonna find the damage just yet. A great speed boost over the gap. DV Cat Commanders, they're trying a similar rotation, but it's the same story that we've seen in the last 3 or 4 fights here on Kings Row. It's going to be Frank taking down Sky first. I mean, it just doesn't end for the Lijiang Legion. Oh my goodness, what a rock. They're not able to take down Potato Lord. Fives and Potato Lord are hurt so badly, and Fives goes down. Frank with another clutch railgun. Ghost is so low, gets burned down by Potato Lord, but the focus is just not there. They're not able. They're just left reeling, wondering, where am I? What's happening? And what's happening is that you're losing Kings Row and you're going to match point.
Incredible job from Cat Commanders. Not only we talked about that phenomenal defense already, but the fact that they had the confidence to come out on the Pharah, knowing there was a good chance that they might run like the Bastion, like to be able to completely counter it. And while it was like tough for like 10 seconds, that opening pick, it provides so much value to that fight, to the point where Lijiang Legion never fully recovered from it, despite the fact that that fight lasted almost that entire minute. Just that damage was already done. And like I said, they never came back from it. DV Cat Commanders just stayed on top of it, kept the fight aggressively. And if they just keep this up, we might have a really short night in front of us, Fletch.
Dude, I mean, Frank and Yuji, you talked about them, but my God, just clutch play after clutch play. Frank, almost every single fight was opening up the fight. It just didn't stop for that guy. That guy is insane. Like you just can't say anything else about him. He's crazy. There's no reason that someone should be that consistent unless their name is Shy.
Well, someone's team was pretty close, but
well, but the one that sounds like Shy was the one getting picked out early. But yeah, I mean, a great match thus far for DV Cat Commanders, and Lijiang Legion. They're not sure what to do here. Down 2-0 going into match point. It will be Flashpoint, not probably. I was going to say probably Saravasa moving forward, but we don't know. It'll be Saravasa going into map 3, but unfortunately we won't get that map just yet. We're going to cut it to a short break, and when we come back, we will see if Cat Commanders can get their revenge on Lijiang Legion, or if Lijiang Legion is going to stay alive, so stick around. All right, welcome back, everybody. I mean, Cat Commanders has Lijiang Legion on the ropes right now, 2-0. But as you brought up during the break, Hunter, Lijiang Legion's been in this position before. They were able to reverse sweep DV Cat Commanders in the first round of the playoffs here. So, you know, not guaranteeing anything, but you know, Lijiang Legion has proven that they can do this before.
Yeah, history does have a tendency of repeating itself, and what the ironic part has been on top of that, that all the maps we have played so far are an exact comparison of what they did their first time around, including the map which has the selection of Lijiang Legion, which is going to be Suravasa, which, you know, last time they went all 5 points on Suravasa last time, so I would love to see that happen once more again, but the main question to come with is what kind of comps these teams are going to be running. I think both teams are likely going to still commit to the Sigma comp, but I think the only thing we might see differently is I imagine Lijiang Legion is going to go back to running the Lucio instead of the double flex for with the Iliadi. It's not that bad of an idea, honestly, but on a map like Servasa or a mode like Flashpoint in general, mobility and the ability to get to point first to get these rotations quicker, it's so important.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the... it just feels bad when a team doesn't have a Lucio on Suravasa. I mean, the map's just so big, man. You got to get around quick. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think the Sigma is going to be the play here for these teams moving forward. But I guess we'll figure that out in just a second. It'll... I mean...
been proven wrong.
I mean, you know... Good for you guys. You didn't hurt my feelings at all. I didn't want to be right.
Like, obviously, these aren't fully locked in yet, but it is a nice little flex of different styles. I can 100% see them running a Diva or a Junker Queen here, because Junker Queen's still not bad. Like, the meta has been defined by this Sigma and a bit of, like, the Arisa, but we are seeing the Junker Queen matchup. I am so excited now, Fletch. I have not seen Junker Queen be played like this in such a long time.
I've seen it a few times, actually, where, I mean, the Shout is such a useful tool on this map. Paired with the Lucio, but a little bit of a difference in compositions here. Potato Lord wants to reprise their role, as we do see Random Rager has come back into the game for Sky. Jabberwocky is going to go down, and Lijiang Legion already off to not a great start. Shadow Thief is able to cut down Frank. Gracie finds the pick, but it's just not enough. With 4 people dead for the side of Lijiang Legion, Carnage is going to cut through 5s, and Market goes to DV Cat Commanders.
Yep, and we're seeing Potato Lord instantly over onto that Sombra now, which I question what the usefulness of it is going to be. I imagine you're either looking for Amity or potentially Frank as well. You want to try to stop potentially Amity from using the Suzu, you know, being able to TP out when the aggression comes through. So that might not end up being their target number 1, but for the time being, they're just going to let Potato Lord set up, find the right target at the right place at the right time, as Spy Check is a little crazy right now, trying not to let them take this massive angle on the side, as, yeah, Amity's going to be their target more than likely. So here comes that aggression. Let's see if it works out.
Yeah, TP's going to come out, but the virus is actually going to hit on to Yuji. So a great body block there as Frank. I mean, this guy is ridiculous. They're going to cut through 5s, and Frank once again proving that they're just a bit better. You know, Frank does go down late here, but it's already too little too late. That'll probably be Market going over to DV Cat Commanders, and they've got almost 4 or 5 ultimates coming in here for the next fights.
Yeah, but the benefit on one side of it is that Lijiang Legion, depending on where they're positioned, they might be able to get to this point first, and I don't know, we'll kind of see. It looks like they're not. They're unfortunately like over near their spawn still, so...
Bad RNG.
Yeah, unfortunate, but this is the way this game mode is, so it's probably not going to change anytime soon either, but... Kind of, as you alluded to, a lot of ultimates on the side of DV Cat Commanders, 4 to their name. Likely not going to take long to get that beat either, so 5's going to have to be really diligent with this beat to be able to counter either the Blade or the Rush or the Rampage from Slaying Beast. So I'm curious how they want to try to use it and go about it here in this engagement.
I mean, you've got 1 ultimate, and we're going to see the Kit Rush come out early as the Dragon Blade is going to cut down Jabberwocky. It's going to cut down Random Rager, and there's nothing random about that. Yuji is perfectly methodical with the Dragon Blade. I mean, you know what they say, measure twice, cut once. measure twice, cut twice there in that case.
Yeah, and we only see them bust up with 2 ultimates to really shut down that fight, but the important part is they do hold on to that beat, so they're still going to have the counter force, or, well, let me take that back, they're going to have the beat, so they will be able to counter Shadow Thief, who's going to have their own Rampage now online, as they're getting close to the EMP, but it's been such a slow tick up thus far, to the point where they might just have to try to engage with this and force out the beat, and try to do the same thing in turn, so Frank might end up being the big deciding factor here, with that overclock ready to go.
On Shadow Thief, a great knife on it to UG. I mean, just a great play by Amity. Gets rid of everything. That Rampage hit 4 people for Shadow Thief. And the Rampage from Slaying Beast is just as good. But this time, there's no Kiriko to knock that anti-effect off. And, I mean, one more fight. Fives is alive, but, not going to be able to get the touch. That's going to be Ruins going over to Cat Commanders, and they're on map point and match point, and this is Lijiang Legion's tournament life on the line.
Yeah, and 5 suffered that late hit right there, but luckily they should be able to still kind of get near spawn of their team, as you can kind of see like the part rotation of the other faction of Lijiang Legion. But honestly, you're in such a position where you kind of have to give up this rotation to Cat Commanders. They're likely going to get to this point first, but you have the EMP, you have the ability to set this up. But if you're to turn around this series, turn around this map, I think it has to happen right here. That's a great way to start things out.
Yeah, great job. A good anti onto Frank. The EMP comes out. Not going to be able to find somebody to hack, but Potato Lord going to go down. EMP, not the destructive tool that it has been in the past anymore, as it looks like Lijiang Legion, though, still slowly but surely grinding this fight out. It's just Ghost left, trying to stall for time here. That will be Lijiang Legion finally finding a flip here on Suravasa.
Yeah, it ends up being their first fight win, too, when they used the EMP to be able to do so. I was a little curious whether Potato Lord was going to go for it. We saw them kind of try to go over the wall to try to do it. Didn't quite work out, and they committed anyway. So now just going to have that Nano, likely going to give it to Shadow Thief for this fight coming up now. But Frank, again, might end up being that deciding factor here. Looking for the shot, and they started off strong.
Frank, as the overclock comes out, opens up the fight once again. Oh, goodness, Potato Lord, you're not getting away from that. The Rampage comes out, but it goes out immediately. Goodness gracious, the plays don't stop from Cat Commanders.
What's this about?
Frank's absolute freaking machine out here. Came out with the overclock. I believe had 3 final blows to their name. And they managed to, help get out, Shadow Thief went for the Rampage, and they managed to get them with the overclock headshot to the point where Slaying Beast could get that final blow to be able to stop it. So now, desperation is kicking in. You put Jabberwocky over on the Moira, Shadow Thief going over, and now that blade ready to go. Yuji not gonna hold back here.
Oh, goodness, the Ajax from Fives! Fives gets cut down by the Dragon Blade, and keeps on and going as Frank finds 2. Frank finds 3! Amity cleans up with the headshot onto Random Rager. But DV Cat Commanders, they only need one more fight!
Murphy, down.
It's looking like a pretty bad situation, too. They're going to have nothing for this fight. They're not even close to anything. Jabberwocky's at 50% right now to that Coalescence, but Cat Commanders, they have the beat. They have the Rampage getting ready to come here pretty soon. They're still going to have the Cleanse. It's complete desperation. Lijiang Legion, first and foremost, though, have to be able to touch this point. It's looking like it might have to be forced by Jabberwocky, as they're going to have to touch and try to find a pick here, but it's so tough now.
Yeah, Shadow Thief has no bubbles, and Jabberwocky has been eliminated. The Rampage is out! It hits 2 people, and the damage is done. It's just Fives. It goes, wins the Lucio duel, wins the match, wins the series. DV Cat Commanders, they get revenge. They're going to the grand finals.
And at this point, they 100% deserve it. This is the revenge that they were looking for. Obviously they get reverse swept last time they went up against this team. But right now, they have put the exclamation point on this match, on this potential rivalry as well, as they will move on to those grand finals to go up. They'll be able to go up against Danger Close 2. It's so exciting to see this kind of performance, and I know we love to have these map 5 situations. We love to see teams end up being really close, but sometimes seeing these dominant performances, especially when this team lost their last engagement here, it's so incredible to see, and there's so much momentum for this team going into the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, we said his name a lot, but when you have a guy like Frank popping off like they do, I mean, it's going to be hard for any team to stop that when Frank is on a roll. And everybody played so well from the side of DV Cat Commanders. I mean, it was just a dominant performance through and through. Lijiang Legion, they were just suffocated. I mean, Cat Commanders just had the grip on the series from the beginning. Well, I guess that's a lie. Lijiang Tower, the first point went to Lijiang Legion. But after that, DV Cat Commanders had their grip on the series. I mean, Lijiang Legion, unfortunately, this is the end of the road for them. Their season is going to end here. Congratulations to a great season, though. Third place is nothing to be, heartbroken about. You can be sad for now, but moving forward, you gotta look forward, right? You can't let this weigh down on you in the future. Just come back next season and dominate just as much as you did this season. And as for DV Cat Commanders, they earn their road to the grand finals here to play Danger close to a team that most people would assume is the favorite to take the tournament. But we thought that Lijiang Legion would take the series here today. We thought they were the favorite. There's a reason we don't hand out the trophy without playing the games. People earn the right to be put up on that pedestal all the time, and hell, maybe DV Cat Commanders can do it.
Yeah, it's where you gain that little bit of hope, because as you said, Danger Close 2 has looked like a super dominant team. They ended up 3-0ing both of their matches to get into the grand finals. But one thing we kind of have to note as well, with the addition of this match, DV Cat Commanders just did the exact same thing. They faced Borealis in the round before this, 3-0 them, and now they 3-0 Lijiang Legion here. So they're going in with so much momentum. Both of the teams in the grand finals have gone 6-0 in maps their last two matches. So one of these teams is going to have to eventually bend and break. And this is the kind of exciting stuff you love to see, especially in the grand finals. And sometimes we cast or curse these kind of things when we say it could end up being a really close grand finals, but the way that we have seen both these teams perform over the course of the season, and especially tonight from DV Cat Commanders, I am exceptionally excited for that grand final.
Yeah. Once again, though, unfortunately, actually, that's going to do it for us tonight. We don't really have anything else going on, unfortunately, but congratulations to DV Cat Commanders on their grand finals appearance, and best of luck to them moving forward. Our NAGM tier coming to a close very, very shortly. A lot of these smaller brackets are coming to a close. The Diamond bracket, the Masters bracket. Basically, it's our 4 open tier tournaments that are going to be going on for a little while longer. So we are going to be crowning a champion sometime in the next week or so. As the season continues, you won't want to miss these grand finals. And even if they're not what you expect from high level teams, they don't care. They're playing their hearts out there, and mistakes are made. Everybody makes mistakes, and they're human. So there's no reason to come at anybody's throats for making mistakes. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and thank you, Hunter, for joining me. You got anything else to say before we cut off tonight?
Honestly, just like what you said is actually kind of already pretty perfect right now. Don't get hard on these guys. At the end of the day, these are people. This is a game. We are here to have fun. At the end of the day, this is what this is for. It's competitive. It's fun. It's awesome. But we're here to enjoy what we do, and what we do is we play Overwatch. Some of us cast it, but we love this game. We love being able to see it. So regardless, just keep supporting these players, keep supporting these leagues, these teams, and I think we will have a very, very bright future in front of us.
Yeah, thank you all for watching, though, and that's going to do it for us tonight. I hope you all tune in for the coming matches in the future, but that'll do it here on CGL. So, good night, everybody. I don't know what else to say, man. And best of luck to Cat Commanders.